Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country. All right, everybody. Thank you for jumping on with us for our Your Story podcast, my favorite of the suite. And I think you all know why. For the ones that listen, for the ones that are listening for the first time, I'm going to learn more about our guest today in these 25 minutes than I would if I flew to their city and took them to dinner and all those things, because the purpose of this podcast is to get behind the story that makes the person. And I got my man, Ryan Koske, one of my favorite people, who is just a ball of energy. And just you'll like his perspective and his delivery. But, he is the vice president now of Viram Vitae, his new agency that he's created, elite producer, going out there helping a ton of families. And he's with us today. So first off, Ryan, how you doing, my brother?
Oh, Mark, I'm doing fabulous, man. Just excited, excited for the growth that we're seeing, everything that's going on here at Family First Life. It just pumps me up. So I'm super excited.
That's awesome, man. Well, we're excited to have you on, and I'd love it, dude, if you could kind of take us down the path of some of the events in your life that made you the man you are today. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, getting started at Family First Life, kind of when looking back at the journey that it's been for me, I think if I would have gotten started 6 months sooner or 6 months later, if I would have waited 6 more months, I think either way, I don't think I would be here, and I would be, not that I have everything figured out or that I, have been successful. I've certainly worked hard enough to see some success, but I don't think I'd be where I am today. And so kind of like leading up to there, I don't know, I always enjoyed working with people. I think that came from growing up. My dad was a pastor. So obviously all day, every day, saw him working with people until I was probably like 13 years old. Well, I guess 14. Once I started working, I would go with him almost every Tuesday night, and we would go out visiting, people in the church, and we would just listen to them tell their stories or whatever, and you try to help them out. Some of them were just wanting money and would dip out, and some of them were sincere and it really did want some help. And so I think I kind of developed, just in watching him, I think I developed a pretty good sense for dealing with people, talking to people, and understanding people. And so I think that's kind of where my love of, I don't know if I would say, well, it's definitely a love of sales. Like I do love selling people everything in life. Helping my wife when she has, if I'm trying to sell her on something, getting me a new watch or something like that. I do like that. So that's kind of where it started for me.
I love it. Your delivery is is so awesome to me. I don't know, but keep going. I'm enamored with your delivery.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it. Well, that's kind of where all of it started for me. And I knew I wanted to work with people. I had tried a job once where I was going to be in front of a computer, and it did not work out for me well at all. I could not stay focused. Wasn't for me. So decided that I went to a Bible college because I wanted to see if God wanted me in the ministry like my dad. Went there for a year. Wasn't for me. And then I tried, that's when I tried doing online schooling, and that didn't work out for me. I just needed to be in class in person. So I was just looking at career options, and it was like, honestly, sales is my best option as far as making a good income without having a degree, going to school for 4, 6, 8 years. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I jumped into. I was doing door-to-door lawn care for a while. Eventually stepped into like a lead role there. And kind of what I was always looking for is I was always looking for something. I didn't know it at the time, but I did want to be an entrepreneur. I did want to own my own business. I didn't want to work for anybody else, but I didn't have any immediate family or anything like that who had kind of done that, and no one that I talked to a lot that had gone down that path. So I didn't even really know that that's what I wanted. So I kind of found myself throughout those years always like starting something with a friend or somebody else, or where I felt like I was in it for me, but really I wasn't. I was just working for them, and I kind of was siphoning off of their vision a little bit, I guess. I was getting a little bit of that. So then when I found Family First Life and I understood that, hey, I'm building this for me, but I didn't have the know-how how to start a business or anything like that. When I figured out, dude, I don't have to know what to do. Like, I don't have to know how to manage like payroll. There's so many things that when you're starting a business, you need to, know how to do. Like, I don't have to know how to do any of that. There's been so many people that have come before me, people like yourself, Ivan, Caleb, Gabe, Joe, like that have been successful, that are at Integrity, have that partnership. And I just have to do what they do. So that just made sense to me once I figured that out and figured out that I'm just repeating the process. So then we kind of came to the point where finally, started helping other agents help families as well. So when it came time to decide, what I wanted my agency name to be, I wanted one to do something different because I don't like to be the same, as everybody else. So I was so I knew I wanted to do something a little bit different. And then two, I just wanted something that meant something to me and my faith in God. And so when I started thinking about what we do, life insurance, my immediate thought was the average, American, the average individual, they're not going to be able to leave a legacy behind. They can't leave their life behind. But in life insurance, that's how they can do that. So we are, helping these families leave a legacy behind. And then I started thinking about some names, and I came across True Life is what I wanted to use. But I didn't want to. I wanted it to be different, so we decided to go with Verum Vitae. It's Latin for true life, and it kind of has that double meaning there. In that true life can only be found in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and that's a fact there. And then also on the flip side of that, you can't stay behind with your family. Eventually, we're all going to be gone, but we can leave that legacy behind. We can leave our life behind, and that life insurance is how almost every American is able to do that.
That's awesome, dude. Now, there's a chapter that you've left out of this story. How long have you been married?
Been married 2 years and a month now. A little over 2 years.
How did you and your wife meet?
We met when I went to school. When I was in Bible college, we met there. She was there. She graduated. I met her. She was a sophomore my freshman year. Yeah, we met there. Didn't start dating till like the year after. But
what year did you graduate college? Or what year were you done with Bible school?
So I went for 1 year. It would have been 16, 17 was the year that I went, fall, spring that I went. So I didn't finish. I just went for a year. It wasn't for me.
So you went there to meet your wife. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, looking back, that's what I got out of that, and I praise God for
it. No doubt. I mean, it was a pillar. It was a life pillar. So what has she meant to you in this business with the way things are structured and your ability to have to stay, resolute mentally?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't be able to do it at all without her. So from the first time that I bought leads, when it was New Year's Eve 2020, and I had gotten licensed, everything like that, and I knew I could sell. I didn't doubt myself. I just wasn't sure that I was going to be able to make it happen, right? And so when I was sitting there looking at the CRM, I called Gabe. I'm like, Gabe, what do I buy? He's like, all of it. So I was like, okay. So I just put it all in my cart. To this day, I don't know what kind of leads I bought. I don't know if it was internet, second chance mortgage. I don't even know what I bought. There was 248 of them. I know that. And it was like 75% off. So I put them in my cart. It was going to be like $650. I look at Anna and I'm like, do I do it? Because at the time, I probably only had like $2,000 to my name at all. So that was 25% of more than 25% of everything that I have. And without hesitation, she's just like, do it. You just need to do it. And I was like, okay. So I went ahead and did it. I don't think I would have done it without her. And then just having her on board, she's understood the sacrifice the whole way. And that's so important. That's what I stress to new agents coming on is, look, if you're married or you're in a serious relationship, you got to get your partner on board. Because if they're not, you're going to be gone so much. If you guys aren't working towards the same thing, they don't understand the vision, it's going to create a lot of problems. So just having her on board, knowing what this is all about and willing to help me with it, that she's probably called the carriers more than I have, fixing policies and everything like that. So it's just been a huge blessing having her there to help out, relieve some stress. And then, I can go and whine to her at the end of the night and she'll tell me it's okay. We'll start it up the next day.
Very nice, man. And I agree. I mean, having a spouse in your corner is huge. But think about that. You don't have a ton of money. You know, what gave y'all the belief that pulling the trigger or buying all of it or just go ahead and do it? What gave y'all the belief that was a good decision to make, or even a good calculated decision to make?
Yeah, so I had seen Gabe and Caleb. I had seen the success that they had. Gabe was always sending me his deposits and his bank statements. So he was always sending me that. And I always felt like Gabe, he's definitely got some skills that I don't have, but I didn't feel like he was ever going to, he was a way better salesperson than I was at the time. Now I think he definitely is now that I understand a little bit more about it. But that was kind of it. I had known some people, and I saw Matt that did it. And I've told Matt this to his face before. So Matt Borsch, if you guys know Matt Borsch, he's not like the most electric personality ever. He's not going to make you love him right when you see him. In fact, if you just have one or two interactions with him, you might not like him that much, but the dude can sell. I mean, he is as consistent as it comes. Like, I look up to Matt at like I do nobody else in this business, and seeing that Matt could do this was like, I can definitely do it. And I've talked to Matt about this, and now look, here's the deal. Like, I didn't understand then the hard work and the consistency that Matt put in to get that. And I know that now. Yeah, that's what it was then.
No doubt. I love you guys. That's great, man. Yeah, I mean, Borsch is solid, just real solid, dude. And the work ethic, like you said. So, so the partnership, you and your wife, and the ability to kind of transition this thing into now what is a business, right? It started out as you being the business, and now it's become a business, which is still all part of your story. When you look at Family First Life now, if someone's listening to this, why FFL?
Oh man, if I could write a book, because honestly, for me, I tell people this all the time. For me, if the only thing that I got from Family First Life up to this point, I've been through some tough situations here. We've gotten through some hard times while I was with FFL. I promise you, Mark, if the only thing that I learned or got from Family First Life up to this point is the personal growth that I have seen, it would have 100% all been worth it. I've never worked in an environment where it just pushes you to be better. And here's the deal. Like, I'm not a lazy, I'm not naturally a lazy person. So I am always trying to get better, but the environment here, the people here, the type of work, everything about it just forces you to become a better version of yourself. And that's honestly my favorite thing about Family First Life, is because without even trying myself and pushing for it myself, I just see the maturity that I've had. And again, I'm not where I need to be. I got a long ways to go, but just the growth, the personal growth that I've seen, that's my personal favorite for me. Just, and there's so much that I've learned, whether it's, dealing with people, employees, or, just on a sales psychology level. But that personal growth for me is by far the biggest thing. And then outside of that, just the opportunity, everyone's life that I touch with Family First Life is blessed because of it. Whether I'm helping a family with life insurance, whenever they have to use that life insurance, that paying out to the family, that's blessing them. If I'm helping an agent help families, that's blessing their family because of the financial opportunity that we have here. And it's just amazing. And then, I mean, even in my life personally, just with, I didn't make a ton of money before. So coming over to what we do now with the comp levels that we have, I've just been able to help out, friends and family members, if it's people that need help with leads or just whatever, something as simple as giving someone a better birthday present, right. just little things like that, like blessing people. And those are all ways that I think, Family First Life is, it's not for everybody, but if you can work hard and you've got thick skin, then this is probably the place for you.
That's awesome, dude. I want to know from you, because I had been in sales. I've been in sales 20 years, and I know sales, like, it's not easy. And it's a lot of times they're changing the comp plan to take advantage of you. And you talk about your desire for sales and your knowledge for sales early. Like, this was the path I had to go down. It's the closest thing to my DNA, right? How does it feel to have found Family First Life and be able to do what you're doing here, knowing that the sales industry is brutal and they take advantage of people all the time, but you're here maybe living your best life? How does that feel?
Man, I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends that are in sales, if it's car sales, back doing lawn care, and then, or real estate. And I know that when I worked there, how hard I worked and how much money I made, and that I wasn't saving any money and I didn't spend a ton of money. And, then obviously coming here, just with the opportunity that we have, the compensation, just knowing that I'm not getting taken advantage of, there's nobody out to do that to me here, makes me believe and want to work even harder, because I know that the harder that I work, I'm not working harder so someone can make double or triple what I make off of my work. Right. That's all for me. That's for my family, and for me to give to other people. It really instills a belief and a drive, because it just makes it all easy. Sitting in Zoom appointments at 10 o'clock at night because Arizona's 2 hours behind me, so from 8 to 10 on Zoom meetings. It just makes it all easy. Or when I would drive to Wisconsin, leave at 8, get back at midnight, or leave at 5 a.m., get back at midnight. Like, it just makes it easier to endure through when when you know that the people above you have your back and they're not out to take advantage of you, and that they're there to help you.
Huge. And I knew I'd get great perspective out of you on that. And real salespeople know. The way you just said that answer is the core of where we are, like of what we do here at Family First Life, and how liberating that feels, right? versus the opposite of that. And now, just with your business, Vir and Vitae, and kind of, where you're going, what does that look like? How do you see Family First Life and your team catapulting to 500 families a month, 1,000 families a month, 2,000 families a month?
Yeah, baby steps. I see it catapulting as in creating an environment where we all help each other out. Again, in the other sales industries that I've been in, even though people, it's crazy because people weren't making that much money, but everyone's still out to get everybody's throat, and it's insane, because it's like, dude, guys, we're talking about like $30,000 a year here, like chill. But like coming here, so I want to create an environment where we just help other people out, and that starts with me. If I have an agent who's working hard in the office every day, communicate with me. If he needs some help with leads, I'm going to help him with leads. If I do that for my agents, when my agents bring people on, they're going to help them out as well. So, we're 100%, we're going to get to helping 1,000 families by the end of the year here. And that's how I think we're going to do that, is just by helping each other out and creating that environment where we're more than willing to help the people out who have been putting the work in. Again, we don't help out idiots. If you're an idiot, you're not getting help from us. But if you're working hard, you're asking the right questions, you're reaching out, then we'll be there for you. So
strong, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us. You again, the future's so bright for you and what you got going on, and the people that you're serving right now, your agents and your agent force, your ability to continue to grow. You've taken advantage of the ability to personally produce at a high level and get people to follow you from leading from the front. So I commend you for what you're doing, commend the work and the way you're leading your team. I'm excited for you guys, man. Yeah, I'm excited too. And Mark, again, I just appreciate everything you've done for everybody, at this point, the structure, the groundwork that you've laid. It's like I said at the beginning, man, it's super easy to replicate for me to know that I don't have to do anything new. I'm not a pioneer. I'm not figuring something out. I'm just repeating the process. You're the man, brother. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for listening, everybody. Keep subscribing, keep sharing. We love you. God bless. Thanks, Ryan.